I really don't think I could say there's one specific thing, because I feel like every time I'm here, I have an encounter that I'm going to walk away from, and I'm going to feel blessed to have that encounter. Throughout our pilgrimage, people would say, well, where do you go to Mass? Where do you go to church? And where do you belong? And nowhere. We don't belong anywhere. The last morning, we had to get up very early for our flight, and we were sitting in the lobby of the hotel, and Charlie Vendetti came and sat next to me. I don't think we'd had a lot of sleep that night, and we were about to get on a 10-hour flight. And Charlie said to me, oh, where do you go to church? And I said, we don't belong anywhere. And he said, oh, really, why? So I just poured my heart out to him. It's like 6 a.m. in a hotel lobby, and I had told him that I raised my kids Catholic, and they went to Catholic schools, but after my husband died, when their dad died, it was too sad for us to go back to that church. And I just think that our memories were just flooded with everything sad, and what a terrible time that was for us. I think that was part of not feeling like we belonged anywhere anymore. And Charlie just sat there and listened to me, and when I was done, he just put his hand on my arm and said, you need to join Cabrini. Like, I'm so grateful to him for that invitation, and it was so personal. It was him asking me from his heart, and I truly felt like for the first time, come as you are. It's okay if you're broken. We're going to love you, and we're going to be by your side, and it's been wonderful.
Yeah, encountering Jesus definitely stands out. Because I got baptized here. And I think being older and going through that, you definitely feel like you encounter Jesus, right? Like just coming through Come and See, and then just learning overall about faith and everything, to sitting or kneeling in the pool with Father Damien there. And it's like just feeling like alive from that point forward. I bring that with me every day with raising my son. It's important to understand that he's just exploring the world right now, and to not get mad, right? So he's opened my eyes to it a lot too, and I hope that he grows up to want this like deep faith as well.
I think I've always seen God as more of obviously a father, and Jesus as the sacrificial lamb, the sacrificial son. And I think with my relationship with Jesus, I see it more now as being in my 30s, as a friend, a companion to walk alongside me. God really puts different paths in front of you. And I think that we often find it frustrating and think, what's going on? But someone made me realize God is giving you the gift to choose. Instead of putting you on just one, he's allowing you to choose the best path for you.
To me, that's what it's all about. I mean, if you don't have a relationship with Jesus and you don't encounter him, life is meaningless. I'm listening to some podcasts on Ecclesiastes, one of my favorite books. And I think that's one of the foundations of understanding life. Because if you don't understand that apart from God, life is meaningless, there really is no point. The fool, the wise man, the rich, the poor, all meet the same fate, and you can't take it with you.
I was baptized when I was, I think 30 years old, so I went a lot of life not having been baptized, and so getting baptized, that was like a really wonderful experience. Deacon Larry came up to me and said, this is the best day of your life. And I think that pretty much sums it up really well. Maybe there's things I was holding on to and didn't recognize that I was holding on to, just past experiences that there's just a lot of relief having been baptized. And being washed clean of all of that and being able to walk forward. I feel like I have more purpose in my relationship with God. It feels like there's more direction. Maybe before I wasn't sure there was like an end goal, or I was just kind of like, well, you go to church and you say some prayers. But now there's more fullness to my relationship with Jesus. It's more packed in with friendships that are encouraging, and just the Catholic faith in general, just adding a lot of details to my faith. So I think it's just more full now than it has been.
So I grew up at the St. Columbkill Parish and was raised Catholic, but also didn't really fully understand, I think, my faith. I really wanted to have like a faith growing up and drew closer to Lord, especially during my parents' divorce. But then it wasn't until like after college, where I started to, really dive into my faith and the theology of the Catholic Church. Encountering Jesus has always been something that has driven my faith, and especially in the last handful of years through the Eucharist and through adoration. And so one of the first things I saw like in the bulletin when I started going to Mass here was that there was monthly adoration evenings, and that was an important part of this parish, drew me into encountering the Lord more. And I was so grateful to see that there was people that desire to encounter Jesus in the physical presence of the Eucharist. It has been a place that I can go and receive his love. So there was an ability for me to share my testimony at one of the Cabrini family dinners about a year ago. And when I did that, I felt really good and seen, and like I was able to share my story with other people. But afterward was really where that encounter happened and that community happened, where I was able to receive people that wanted to share more of their story with me because I had shared theirs. And so a very like tangible way that I saw that community was just coming around me, of like giving words of affirmation or shared experience. I think that was a really big encounter with community.
And Lentz asked us to be a part of a workshop, and that really made me feel a part of Cabrini. It was a workshop on chrisms, and I really felt the Holy Spirit working in me. You know, now when I hear God's voice, I know it, and I don't turn away from it. I pay attention.
After the Alpha retreat, when I was still nervous and still just started coming around to, parish events outside of just going to Mass on Sunday and meeting the obligation, I really hit it off with Levi Helmuth and with Zane Zoller. We had a beer or something, I think, down at Beercade, and we were walking back, to our parked cars, and hands in our pockets, kind of sweating because it was warm outside and still. And I just remember like these guys are, they're like brothers already. And it was an afternoon, on an Alpha retreat, and thinking, this is really special. And this is joy. I think something that is a mark of Cabrini isn't a clique, isn't something that is merely social or human. There's the joy and the peace of Christ that I've seen inhabit a lot of the hearts and, the interactions that I've had with fellow parishioners.